Tina from SimpleTech Media. Have you ever wondered how you start the process of making a website? Well, today I'm going to show you. So when you're first going through the process of determining what your web address will be, you want it to be associated with the name of your company. And in that process, you want to think about something that's not already being used. A way to find out what's being used or not is opening up a web browser and just typing in the name that you want. Right now, if I were to go to simpletechmedia.com, I could type that in and I should see that it's being used because we've been using it. And I will say that Nikki and I spent hours trying to come up with a name that wasn't already being used. And that's part of the process of going through and making sure that you're creating a unique product. You don't want to have the same name as somebody else. So take the name that you're thinking of, type it into a web browser and see if something else comes up. So there's already a website with that. So that's not something that somebody else can use because we've already purchased that domain. Now, that web address that you're seeing up here across the top of my browser and my screen where it says HTTPS and then it continues on with simpletechmedia.com, that's called the web domain. And you purchase the domain through different companies. And there are different companies that are set up to tell you, yes, that domain is available, or they may say that domain is not available, but here is one that's similar and maybe you can try this one. Sometimes it's a matter of a different spelling, and sometimes it's a matter of a different ending. So for this one, simpletechmedia.com was available when we chose it, and .com is one of the ones that you would want to use. That's a good, strong domain to have. But there are others out there that you might see. If you are an organization, depending on what your purpose is for your business, you might want to have that .org at the end. Or if you are an education site, if you're a school or something of that nature, you might want to have that .edu at the end. Normally for a government agency, you see .gov. So we see those endings there, and each domain, whenever you go to purchase, they'll show you all of the different listings that are available for that specific domain. And you can purchase more than one so that others can't purchase ones that are similar to yours. You can go ahead and buy them if you want to. You can also link more than one domain to that one specific website. So I have purchased several domains that are similar to simpletechmedia.com that will point people to this one once I get them set up that way. And I already have the rights to those. And it's not that difficult to do. So let me show you how to go about this process. Now, when I first started this, I didn't know how to do this. This is one of the things that I wanted to learn how to do with starting this new venture of mine. When I first went through this, I came up with the name Tina Bell. So I came in and I typed in tinabell.com. And I think there might be something that pulls up for this. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Yeah, so this is somebody's LinkedIn account. So I was not able to use that domain. That told me that somebody was already using that domain, and it takes me to their LinkedIn account. This is not me. This was not anything that I have access to or need to be part of. And so that was not a domain that I could use. So then I came back in and I wanted to know, how do I do this? I wasn't exactly sure. I know that I've seen where you can start a blog and you can go into these different blog sites and you can go that route. And I knew of sites like Wix and things where you could go start a site that way. But I wanted to know, what should I do first? So I typed in how to purchase a website domain. And when you type in a prompt like that, you're going to get a lot of sponsored suggestions for you. Here, Squarespace is offering to give me some ideas for how to do this, and they're going to provide their service for me. GoDaddy is one that comes up. So they're going to let me look for a name, give me a free website, logo, LLC, all that's information here as well. there's some information that pops up about how to look for a domain, how to file that, so on and so forth. It talks about GoDaddy. I will say GoDaddy showing up here several times. This was the first one that I did whenever I started Tina Bell LLC. I hadn't done a lot of research into this. I am somebody who does not spend a lot of time researching things sometimes because I like to remember what it's like to not know all the ins and outs so that when I do help other people, I remember the questions that they would have as somebody who's doing something for the first time. So I haven't spent a lot of time researching a lot of things. I try to remember what the main questions are. So I spend some time trying to figure it out myself, and then I'll take some time to look into it. I just clicked on GoDaddy. When it came up, I clicked on it, and that's what I did. I came into GoDaddy. It asked me to find the perfect domain. I typed in for Tina Bell. And here it's telling me that tinabell.com is taken, but the tinabell.com is available. It's saying that it is a great alternative, and maybe it is. If I want the tinabell.com to be my domain, then that is there. They were giving it to me for a penny for the first year. As long as I committed to 3 years, I could make it yours. And it was just like that. If I scroll down, I can see some other opportunities for ones that I could choose. And then it shows me the prices that I could use. Now, when I did this the first time, tinabell.net was available. And I did pick that one. And I just went with it. It was just a quick thing. I picked it. I moved on from that. And then I used their website, or I used GoDaddy. I created an account and I started building a website from there. And we'll get into building a website in another video. So this was the first domain that I purchased. This is how I did it. It was just a spur of the moment thing. I came across GoDaddy and this is how I picked it. Now you'll notice over here that it's telling me that the tinabell.com domain is taken, and it's showing me that they could try to purchase that domain on my behalf. There is a service fee for them attempting to do that. That's not guaranteed that they would get that other person to agree to sell it. And then there are more fees involved with that. So just know that that price, when I looked into it just a little bit, I was just curious to see kind of how that was broken down. There is a little question mark there, and it continues on. That's not a guaranteed price that they could get that for you for that cost. So just know that there's more that goes into it than just that $70 that they're showing there. After I spent a little bit of time, a couple of weeks, going through the process of learning a little bit more, I realized that I wanted to branch out a little bit. I also realized that GoDaddy wasn't quite fitting the need that I had personally. I'm not saying that it's not a good product. I'm saying that I came across somebody else that I was interested in following more of the way that they were structuring their website, the way that they were structuring things, and I wanted to follow more closely to their plan. And so I switched over to a different website provider and those sort of things. So I switched over. Instead of using GoDaddy, I switched to Bluehost, and I also combined Bluehost with WordPress. And that gave me another opportunity to search for domains. So let me show you what I was seeing over there. So here I come across Bluehost, bluehost.com. And this one was one that I just kept coming across as I was watching more YouTube videos of people who had successful startup companies and things. They all were suggesting Bluehost. And they were not saying necessarily that it was the best of the best, that it was something to use forever, but they were saying that it was a good product for the price. And as somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of money to invest in what's happening at this point in time, I was interested in seeing what that had to offer. And then I was also glad to see that I had a little bit more opportunity in customizing my site to look the way that I wanted. Now, it could just be that I didn't have the time to put into GoDaddy at that time, but I have found that with Bluehost, I have a lot more control with how my website looks. And I also was really liking the price a whole lot better over at Bluehost. So I ended up canceling my GoDaddy account. I ended up releasing my domain from GoDaddy. So I don't have that domain anymore, and I'm okay with that. And I switched over to Bluehost. So with Bluehost.com, I came over here and I did purchase a subscription with them and with their, or I guess it's a hosting plan. So I came over here to their hosting plan, and I honestly don't remember which one I have. I think I have the recommended one, this Choice Plus. So it's $4.45 a month or something around that. I believe I have the one for the 3 websites. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I have right now. And then along with that, I have linked to WordPress. Now, WordPress has 2 different sites. There's a WordPress.com and there's a WordPress.org. And I am not going to pretend like I understand all the ins and outs of all of this. But I will say, from what I understand, WordPress.org is where it's at. WordPress.org gives you more freedom for your own content. And that was the one that was recommended to use. And that's the one that I use. And from the little bit of research that I've done, I believe that I have made the correct choice in that. So we use Bluehost along with WordPress.org for our website. Now, we were able to come in and purchase some more domains. And as Nikki and I were looking into creating a DBA off of Tina Bell, we were thinking about what our name would be. And so let me talk you through how we kind of came up with our SimpleTech Media name. If you see up here across the top, it has this domains button. And when I come here, it lets me choose my domains name, very similar to what we saw with our GoDaddy domain. And I can type in the desired domain here. And it ends with a .com. Again, .com is really the one that you probably want to have available to you. You don't have to have the .com, but it is best if you have the .com. When I initially switched over to Bluehost, I went ahead and purchased the tinabellllc.com. So I own that one. And for the DBA, whatever we did for our tech videos, we wanted to make sure we had the .com. So it was a couple of days of hours of nonstop back and forth to each other. I tried this. I think if I were to go back in our text messages, we were back and forth saying, I tried this, and this. There was a .com. Oh man, this one was really good, but there was not a .com for that one. So that one's out. What do you think about this? Let's try a variation of these words. Let's see what we come up with. We finally landed on, we liked the word simple in there, or we liked the word easy. We wanted some kind of word in our name to make sure that people understood that we wanted this to be non-technical. We wanted this to be approachable for all types of people. We come from teaching college classes, and that can be intimidating for some people, but we wanted to break it down a little bit for anybody. And so we wanted some sort of word in there to show that our intention was to make this for anyone with any background. So we liked having some sort of word, and we really liked the word simple. We liked having some sort of word in this name that let them know that this had to do with technology of some way. I didn't want that in the main name when I came up with Tina Bell, but we wanted that for this part of the name to know that that's what it came up with. And so we came up with SimpleTech tutorial, SimpleTech something, simple technology, simple whatever, and they were all used up. And then finally we came up with SimpleTech Media, and that one was available, and we snatched it up. And I will say there are quite a few domains that I have purchased that are similar to this name that we have not used yet, but that we just have sitting on a list behind the scenes that we have purchased, we have paid for. They are ours to use in the future if we deem necessary. If I scroll down on this page, it'll show that there are other endings that you could look for besides just .com. And .com, they're usually about $12.99 per year. I think that's a great price. .net is $18.99 per year, .org or .org, .tech. And then there's some others here. One of the things that I have really appreciated with Bluehost whenever I sign up for this is I do have to pay a fee for this, but they allow me to have this domain privacy so that if somebody looks up who owns the domain, they keep my personal information private, and I do appreciate that. So they're not putting out my personal address or any of my personal information, and I do appreciate that. And I also appreciate how simple their website is. I've really enjoyed using this site. Now, I did purchase a new domain just a couple of days ago, and I screen recorded. So I'm going to play that screen recording here and talk you through the process. And I thought that you all would enjoy just seeing what it's like purchasing a domain and seeing how simple it is. You want to make sure you don't have typos when you do this. Once you type it in there, you hit enter or OK or search, and this one's free. If it's not free, it'll say that it's not available. This one is available. And so since it's available, I wanted to go ahead and snatch it up. Now, I have wanted to have a boutique for a very, very, very long time. I haven't really talked about it a lot or really to many people at all. I've only just kind of dreamed in my mind about it. And it's something that I really want to have happen. So I've purchased the domains here. I have found some domains that I think would be helpful. It's asking me here if I want to add protection for just automatically paying for the next year. And I'm going to say no to that. And then here's my cart to pay. So I have the .com domain for 2 years. And then that privacy protection. I have the .online domain because I would like for it to be an online boutique. So I think that one would be nice to have. And then that privacy protection again, where they keep my personal information private, which I think is good. And then the .store domain, which I think would be good as well. That all came up to be $151.94. If I decide to not use Bluehost anymore, those are still our domains. Nikki and I own all of these domains, and we can transfer them to other hosts. I can use those domains to push them all to the same website if I wanted to. They are all ours. So as we look here now, I'm in my Bluehost account. It's showing you that all of those are showing up there and they are processing. So there they are. Now I'm going to let them just sit here for a while. I am not ready to start this process of using that yet. I would like to use them though to create a new website. And for that website, I would like to record that process and let you all see the backside of setting up a website in case you're interested in seeing how that goes, so that you can be with us from purchasing the domain all the way through the hopefully launching of that website at some point, launching a boutique. I've always been so interested to know, how do you go through the process of finding products, the clothing, all of that for a store. I have always been nervous to open up a store where people come in. I don't want to trap myself into having to be in a store. I've had family members who have had storefronts, and I know how difficult it is for people to be reliant on employees who don't actually show up and do what they need to do. I know how hard it is to be responsible for products right there where you have customers coming in and they may be taking things that they shouldn't be taking and all of that. So you have to worry about those sort of things. And then also not being able to take off for vacation or when you're not feeling well. Those are some of the things that have always held me back from actually pursuing, taking that next step. But I have always wanted to sell some just really fun, cute things. And some of you may know me in person and say, Tina, you don't dress that cute. Why do you think that you can do this? If you knew me in real life, you would know that I love to buy cute clothes. I just don't wear them myself because I am not a small person who feels like I can wear cute clothes because they're hard to find for my size. I'm very tall and I am not small. And I would love to have a size inclusive. And I say that not just a plus size, I'm saying all the sizes. I want an all size inclusive boutique where I can just have fun clothes, lots of animal print, leopard print. For those of you who know me, that would not be shocking. Lots of fun colors, just fun clothes that make people have a smile on their face. That's what I would love to have. So one day we'll see if that happens. I would love to see that happen, but I need to start making some money first in order to have some money to put into that. But in the meantime, I will be setting some things up behind the scenes and I will take you all along as we build a website for that. So stay tuned as we continue doing that. And if you've ever been wondering how to get the process started and how to get your domain, well, hopefully this was a help for you. Thank you for all your support. We appreciate all of that. If this was helpful for you, please let us know. If there's something else that you would like to see, let us know that as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with others who you think that this could help also.